So you're wondering what a GLP-1 is, how to get started on a GLP-1, and what to do if you can't get the name brand GLP-1. So I keep getting questions about this. So I decided to go ahead. Let's talk about it, okay? So I've been on a weight loss journey 22 months now, and I am down over 55 pounds. I'm in maintenance. I've been in maintenance since November, and I am living my best life since being on a GLP-1 medication that has helped me reach my goals. Okay, so let's talk about, do you want, if a GLP-1 is appropriate for you or not. Okay, first thing first, GLP-1, what's required to get a GLP-1? In order to get approved for, first thing first, you need to speak to your physician. You need to so you need to talk to your physician. And talk about your diagnosis. Typically, a GLP-1 does require a diabetes diagnosis. Something related to diabetes is how you will get a name brand. When I say name brand GLP-1, I'm talking about Manjaro. I'm talking about um, Ozempic. Um, those type of meds. They have other ones too, but those are the two most popular ones. They got some new ones coming out in the next year or so. But those two are the biggest ones right now, the GLP ones that everybody's talking about, and those are the name brand, okay? Just understand that there's a weight loss version to those meds, okay? The weight loss version of those meds is Zepbound and Wegovy, okay? So let's talk about the name brand Manjaro or Ozempic if you want to see if you qualify. Your first thing you need to do is to see if you even have coverage on your insurance policy, because it would be to your advantage if you can get it through your insurance, because you would only probably be paying out of pocket expense, maybe $25 depending on your policy and what your out of pocket expenses are. But it would definitely be to your advantage to be able to have it through your insurance, so it won't cost you as much as it would if you don't have coverage. Okay, so you do need coverage for that. Okay, so talk to your doctor about your conditions, any diagnosis. What you don't want to do is, and so in some cases, if that medication is not on your policy for coverage, then you're going to require what's called a prior authorization. And then if it is there, sometimes it still requires a prior authorization. A prior authorization is approval through your insurance to cover the costs. Okay, they think whatever conditions you have is important enough that they will provide coverage for that medication. Okay, now keep in mind that it's very hard to get a prior authorization approved, because these people know this medication is super expensive and they don't want to cover it. Okay, this medicine was about $1,500 a month for the medication. Okay, so that's why it's to your advantage if you can get it through your policy, so you will be paying nowhere near that amount for your out-of-pocket expense. Okay, so you want to have them do that. You don't want them, when they submit the prior authorization, to even mention the word weight loss. If they mention weight loss, that's going to automatically disqualify you, because Manjaro and Ozempic are meds that help you with your blood sugar levels. Okay, the side effect of that medication helps you with weight loss. Okay, so they are not trying to hear that you are wanting this medication for weight loss. Okay, so whatever issue you got, pre-diabetes, PCOS, whatever, thyroid, anything that they can put in there, just not obesity, right? That will increase your chances. Okay, so the doctors really got to be clever in how they enter that information, because any keywords will set would give you a denial. Okay, so we don't want a denial for want a prior authorization to be approved. Understand that it's getting harder and harder to get prior auths approved. Okay, so that's my next topic, is how to go to the weight loss version of the medication. So so I walked outside. It's nice out today to get some sun outside. So anyway, let's talk about the weight loss versions of Manjaro and Ozempic. So Manjaro, the weight loss version is Zepbound, and the weight loss version of Ozempic is Wegovy. Okay, those are easier to get, and I say easy, but not necessarily easy. But so let's talk about it. If your policy, let's say you can't get the medication Manjaro or Ozempic because you don't have the necessary codes, or you've been denied your prior authorization. So now the weight loss version, if you're using it for weight loss, so keep in mind, if you need it for diabetes, that's separate. But if you're just using it to use the off to be able to get the weight loss results, then you may want to use the option of Zepbound or Wegovy. Okay, so first thing again, you got to check your policy to see, does it have weight loss coverage on your policy. So if it does, then all you have to do is meet a BMI requirement, which is easier. That's what I mean, easier, not necessarily for sure you're going to get it, but it definitely helps. So if your BMI was within a certain range, you will qualify for the weight loss version. Now, keep in mind that these are the same exact medications, Manjaro and Zepbound is tirzepatide, so that's the exact same medicine, but it's just a different name because it was approved for weight loss as Zepbound, and just like Ozempic was approved for Wegovy. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a little confusing, but understand that one is for diabetes, one is for weight loss, okay? So if you can get it up, if it's on your policy, you can get it approved. Hopefully, if your BMI requirements, are within the range that you need to get it. Keep in mind that a lot of people still it's, still a little hard to get because everybody policy don't cover weight loss coverage, unfortunately. So these companies don't want to pay for this stuff, y'all. Like, they really tripping a lot. Like, we pay them every month all this money, and now that we need them for help. And what's so sad about it is that weight loss, if I lose weight, it's going to cut down on all my other pre-existing conditions, right? Which is going to save them money in the long haul. But they don't want to pay for this medicine, maybe because it's super hype right now and everybody's talking about it, and the need is so everybody's wanting it. But it would overall save them money, which is so crazy to me that they don't want to help us lose weight. I would be throwing medicine at y'all to help drop down my, to help drop down my pre-existing conditions and any health morbidities that's causing me issues, right? But so crazy. So let's talk about next steps. So say you don't have weight loss coverage and you can't get Zepbound or Wegovy. Your last option would be to look at compounded version of this medication. So when I say compounded, I mean they're going to take some ingredients from the tirzepatide or from the semaglutide. Semaglutide is the actual ingredient in Ozempic and Wegovy. So they take the active ingredients, some of the active ingredients in those meds, and they mix it with other medications to compound it into a form that works for us to utilize in the way that we need it, basically with the weight loss. So you do not need an order for a compound. All you need to do is find a reputable company. Now understand that you don't want to get this from anywhere, right? But it will be good because you don't need an order, and it'll ship right to your door for the most part. Some people do have you come into their clinics and take the injection every week, but for the most part, you can have this shipped to your house for a 30-day supply. But the cost is going to be the issue. So it depends on your finances if this is something that you can afford. So if you can afford the compounded version, you're looking at anywhere from around 200, it can go up as high as 900 a month. Okay, so you want to try to keep that on the lower side, of course. But what I will tell you is that if at all costs it's worth it because there's people losing hundreds and hundreds of pounds on compound. It works exactly the same as the name brand and as the weight loss version of these meds. So it gives you that weight loss. Now, some compounds work differently on everybody, but I definitely think it's something you should try to look into if you can't get the other options. But I just think that if you're going to go that route, you got to be prepared for the cost part of it, okay? Because it can get expensive and you won't have any help on compound, okay? So that's how most people are losing their weight, especially when we were in a shortage, because we had a lot of people that weren't able to get their medications, and so they were able to use compound and still are able to use compound to continue their weight loss journey. So compound is a good option if you can't get it through your insurance. And if you can't get the weight loss version, compound will get you some good results, okay? But just keep in mind, you don't want to take it for a short period of time. This medication is made to last for a period for life, right? So you don't want to really start that journey if you think you can't continue that journey. So you really want to be sure that this is something you can continue along your journey, right? You want to make sure you can keep it up because some people are, stall and they don't lose weight for a while. So you don't want to take a couple months and say, oh my God, it's not working, when you really need to take it 6 months plus to really for, lifetime, really, so you can really see the results. Because keep in mind, consistency is going to be important. Even on the name brand, we stall on the name brand, we stalled on the name brand, and people are frustrated when they can't see the weight loss. But over time, that medication works. It will work. I am in maintenance. I was frustrated. I was installed for 7 weeks and wasn't losing, and I was still able to reach maintenance, and I've been in maintenance since November. I'm super stuffy, y'all. I got a cold. That's why I sound kind of crazy. But I hope this helps you guys. I hope and let me just tell you really quick, if you're not familiar with a GLP-1, that is a weekly injection. You take it once a week, and they increase it in doses according to your progress. So they all have different doses, but they start off with lower doses and they increase over time. So Also keep in mind with compound, a couple of things with compound is that they may want labs drawn. They're gonna want to know some basic stuff about you. Overall, you're still gonna get the medication, but they just may need to do some things to screen you just to make sure you're safe to take the compound. Certain companies require certain things, but I'm not going to recommend anybody specifically with compound, but there is quite a few companies out there. TikTok is very popular with a bunch of companies. I don't represent anybody specifically for compound, but I'm just telling you that there are lots of companies, but I just want to make sure you do your research. Okay, you don't need anybody specifically to tell you which company to use. You want to make sure you research whatever company, because there are some bad ones that's giving out fake stuff that's not working good. So you don't want to use anybody compounds. All I'm saying. So just make sure you research it and be safe. But it's a once a week injection. It's subcutaneous, meaning that you just pinch the skin's a little fat, like a little insulin needle type needle, and that you would take that injection into the fatty tissue, the back of your arm and your belly, in your thigh. But it's once a week. I would say also, if you're going to start that journey to weigh yourself in at least once or twice a week, and then also like once a week or every other week. And make sure you also download this app called Me360. It's really good with measurements, because the scale will disappoint you sometimes. Don't get too frustrated with the scale, so you might want to measure yourself. But overall, this has been the best journey I've been on. I don't regret it at all. I am stabilized with my weight. I started at 205. I am now 147, 148. I stay between 151 and 147 at my lowest weight, so I'm awesome at that weight. So, yeah, just, I'm hoping that this helps somebody. And if you have any more questions, you can definitely, list comments below. I appreciate it. Talk to y'all soon.